Economic uncertainty and trade disruptions are major concerns for Manitoba businesses. That's according to the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce's 2025 Business Outlook Survey, which was released yesterday. Joining us now to tell us more about the results of the survey is Chuck Davidson from the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Thanks for joining us. Now, tell us about the survey. What are the results showing you?
So what the results are showing us is something that we've talked about on this show over the course of the last year, and it's really the impact that trade and tariffs and Trump have been having on the business community in Manitoba. When we shared the results, what we found was that close to 76% of businesses have been impacted as a result, or are thinking about or concerned about the impact that tariffs are going to have. What we also found is that 62% have already been negatively impacted financially as a result of the tariffs that have been put in place, and that's problematic. It's even more so in rural Manitoba. And so these are challenges that businesses are dealing with, and when you look at terms of what they've been dealing with over the course of the last number of years, workforce challenges have continually been a problem, and then over the last number of years it's been inflationary pressures. So what we've really got right now is we've got this trifecta of problems that businesses are having to deal with and navigate and to be able to make decisions. What we also found in the survey results is 76% of businesses, as a result of all of this uncertainty that's kind of going on right now in the world, are not making decisions on hiring. They're not making decisions on investing in their companies, and they're not making decisions on growing their companies. That's problematic. These are things that are front and center right now. Having this data provides us with a good understanding of what the challenges of business are. Now it's about working with both the provincial government and the federal government to be able to address solutions or to address these problems so these businesses can continue to operate.
One of the things that Prime Minister Mark Carney is doing is traveling around the world, trying to make deals with other countries and trying to eliminate some of those trade barriers that we might have with them. What are Manitoba businesses saying about that? Yeah,
so I think there's a couple things. So what we're really looking at right now is the fact that we've got this unreliable trading partner that we've had for decades that we can't rely on. And so the solutions that the business community has talked about are that we do need to look at other export markets. So what the Premier or the Prime Minister is doing is exactly what we expect, is looking at other potential export markets. We've talked about reducing internal trade barriers. How do we make it easier to do trade within Canada? And both the Premiers and the Prime Minister have been addressing that as well. We continue to need to do more, though. And the other thing that's important is making investments in infrastructure, specifically in things that can help get products out of our country. And so investing in the ports, investing in strategic infrastructure, investing in things like Churchill. These are important in the future. So we're doing all the right things. The challenge is these things don't happen overnight. And so businesses in a time right now where when you talk to businesses, they're losing money, and significantly in some cases on a regular basis. This isn't something that is a short-term issue, but at the same time, we need to find solutions and identify programs and different things that can help those businesses in the short term.
Some businesses are losing tons of money. Yeah,
so I've talked to some business owners that are losing, some in excess of $1 million a month as a result of this. These are large employers that would typically have a strong presence in the U.S. and don't have the ability to simply, pivot to looking at other countries. The U.S. has been their prime source of business for decades. It doesn't go away, and so dealing with the tariffs is something they're having to deal with. So the other thing that's important is we're going into CUSMA negotiations with the U.S. over the course of the next 6 months. We need to make sure those go as smoothly as possible. We need to do everything we can to get those tariffs reduced. We know they're never going to zero. That's not on the table, and we've heard that repeatedly, but we need to create a more stable business environment so that businesses in Manitoba can continue to do business with the U.S., but have a better sense in terms of what the rules of the game are.
And you want them to stay in Manitoba as well.
We want them to stay in Manitoba. We want them to continue to grow in Manitoba. We see great opportunity here in Manitoba, but we need to create that environment where businesses can make those decisions about hiring, about growing their business and investing.
And that would come from government.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Chuck, thanks for this today.
Thanks, Rochelle.